to the special public meeting of June 9, 2020 of the Township of Washington Township Council. Adequate notice of the meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by the Township Clerk to at least 2 newspapers on June 4th, 2020. And this notice has been posted on the Township Bulletin Board, Electronic Message Board, WCTV, and on the Township website. Salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
The flag of the United States of
of the United
America,
States of America and to the
and to the
republic for
republic
which
for
it
which it
stands,
stands, one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Amen.
I got caught up with all of you guys tonight.
Sue, roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Here.
Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Here,
Councilwoman Morgan.
I'm here.
Council President Feeney.
Here. Let the record also reflect in attendance Mayor Calamari, Township Administrator Tovo, Township Attorney Poller, and Township Clerk Wachowski. Please also let the record reflect we have 2 members from Ninja on the call to help with technical support. Coronavirus. For the latest messages on the coronavirus, please visit our web www.twpofwashington.us. Please also note for the coronavirus, the food stations have been moved to Town Hall and they have been removed from the Food Town and Rite Aid. Last day to register to vote. June 16th is the last day to register to vote for the July 7th primary election. Please visit www.twpofwashington.us. Under elections to download the form to submit. All registered Democrat and Republican voters will automatically receive a vote by mail ballot. If you are unaffiliated or inactive and would like to participate in the primary, you should complete and return the vote by mail application. See the website for more details. If you have a disability and need an accessible ballot, please contact 201-336-7020, or you may vote July 7th in the ADA compliant voting machine, which is only for voters who have a disability. Summer camp. Summer camp has been canceled. Please visit the township website for further information. Paper shredding only will take place on July 25th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the municipal parking lot. Please bring your papers to be shredded. No books or binders allowed. Mail drop box. A blue drop box has been placed outside of Town Hall for depositing all correspondence and addressed to the proper permit. No cash to be placed in the mailbox and all payments must be in a sealed envelope. Garden and grass collection. The program has begun as scheduled. Please visit DPW page for the schedule. Be patient. If your garden and grass debris is not picked up on your scheduled day, please leave it out as it will be collected the following day. Property owners, if your property is adjacent to a township-owned property and you are interested in purchasing such parcel, please send a letter, email of interest to Mayor Peter Calamari. A special council will be held June 29th at 30 p.m. for the adoption.
Thank you.
Minutes. To participate in the general public discussion portion of the meeting, please dial in on 201-664-4659. You'll be asked to state your name and address for the record, and we ask that only one person speak at a time. Please note at the end of the general public discussion, no more calls will be accepted. Please limit your time to 5 minutes. Motion to open the public discussion.
so moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, let's see if anybody's on the line tonight. Hello, good evening.
Hi there.
If you would please speak your name and address for the record.
Sure, that's Jessica Snyderfitch, 462 Bergen Avenue.
Yes, thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you. Okay, I just wanted to start off by saying thank you to the council members for all the work that you do for our community. I would also like to specifically thank Councilwoman Morgan, Council Vice President Cummings, for their acknowledgement and statements at the last town hall meeting regarding the Black Lives Matter and the protests that are happening across our country. I do have a question regarding this evening, especially after hearing the accounts of Black members in our community at the protest organized in Westwood. For example, the victim of racial profiling by the Township and Westwood police, or the lack of Black teens being employed by our local businesses. And when you hear that, what are specific steps that you think our town is taking to take action to make sure that all, but especially that our Black community members are given equal opportunity and feel represented in our town?
I'm sorry, who was that directed for?
Is that a general statement to the council, or you were, I know you were thanking.
Those are very good questions, especially at this very important time in our culture. So I was
The council, how they
information on
Jessica, hold on one second.
Two people are.
Sue.
Yep.
So just wait 1 second. Okay. This day and age in the time and everything that's going on. Can you not hear me?
Kind of. You're breaking.
a bit far away, but I can hear you, yes.
Let me try another microphone. 1 second, Jessica.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's try it again, Stacy.
Sue.
Yes.
Yep, I can hear, thanks.
But Stacy, you're frozen.
Okay. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Right this second?
Yes, that's better.
If you're
Okay,
talking,
great. I am. How about now?
now we can hear you.
I don't think I'm frozen. I just wasn't moving. Okay, hold on 1 second. You know what? I'm going to try a different. Okay, hold on 1 second. Is that better?
I think so.
Yes, I can also hear you.
Yes, you appear to be continuous now rather than chopped up.
Your mic is off though, Stace. That's better.
Okay, how's that? Is that better? Okay. Thank you very much for calling in, and those are very important questions during this time, especially in our community. I was wondering if the mayor had any, I know we'd have to reach out to the police department on statistics for things, information like that. I know that the town and the schools are very conscious about, diversity in our community, and some other numbers I think we might have to look into unless the mayor has some insight.
Stacy, unfortunately, I was only getting every third word or so of the person, so I don't really know what she was looking for at this point.
I do.
If someone else got it, I'm
So I
happy
think she
to
was
address
looking
it
some
at the next
information
meeting, but I wasn't hearing it very well.
Okay, would that be okay? Okay, well, I think we were just looking for some diversity information and if there were any programs in
Maybe
town
I could
for
talk-
diversity.
Jessica, hold on 1 second. Stacy's saying a comment. Stacy, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Let Jessica speak. What was she saying?
Jessica?
I just said that I wouldn't have no problem sending an email and putting it in writing if it's a bit easier. For now, if that's better.
That
It
be-
would, and I believe those
Yeah,
are
thank
very,
you.
yeah, if you don't mind, sorry about the connection issue. It's actually it's on my end. My laptop doesn't have a Ethernet connection, so I'm on my phone now.
Okay, then I'll do that. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Is there anyone else on the phone?
Yes, Michael Lemkin, 723 Amherst Drive.
Yes, Mr. Lemkin, how are you this evening?
I'm doing good. First time, long time, but I'm calling. I know this might not be directly a council issue, but I'm calling about that 3-story monstrosity they want to build on Pascack Road. If anyone drives around some of the downtown Park Ridge and some of the stuff they've done in Emerson has seen what these large monstrosities have done. They've destroyed areas. Our neighborhood is the cul-de-sac. The old tennis club is zoned as residential, and it should stay that way. When people bought their houses in our neighborhood, they were assured that such things as these big monstrosities would not be built. Now, I didn't have much time to go through everything on the website, but breezing through, I see a lot of issues with the proposal as is anyway. And I'm calling to get the information out so everyone else knows about it. For starters, the traffic study is wrong. They used wrong data. They basically said our intersection between Pascack and Washington has a level of service F, which I think we all can agree it does have a level of service of F. But there are plans to redo that intersection. I think the whole intent of redoing that intersection is to increase the level of service. Well, this housing development said you already have a level of service F, therefore we cannot lower the level of service. We will have no impact to traffic. And I think anyone could look at it and say that's pretty wrong and that's just not accurate. They're talking about 100 beds in there, and they're talking about 12 cars going in and out during a day. My grandma was in a home in Hillsdale and Pascack, which had 30 members, and they have more than 12 cars going in and out every day. So I think that information is not accurate. On top of the fact that it didn't include any traffic going in and out of seasons in its analysis, which would impact Pascack. This also will have a negative effect of the property values in the area. It will create a safety issue with more traffic, more people going around. We have a lot of kids in the neighborhood. And now let's look at the construction. I don't have all the details, but I remember reading up, I think it was in Malo or Montvale, where a developer was dumping dirt and stuff into the local stream, and nothing happened to them. So there's a lot of concerns with this, and I just want to get the information out since this was proposed back in December, and we just find out about it a couple days ago. And then when concerned citizens in our area have tried contacting to get more information, they get the cold shoulder. So I hope everyone understands the negative impact this could have, not just on our little area on Pascack, but the whole area. Increased traffic, more potentially more drainage issues. I didn't go through the drainage yet to see that. But I just want to get everyone aware of what they're trying to do, and hopefully we can get it resolved.
So you're talking about the zoning application that's currently in front of the zoning board?
Correct.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for
Never had a
calling.
bare minimum. I mean, I know how things have gone in Bergen County when developers want to build whatever they want. They always get their way. But I also like to point out what has been happening in Emerson. All those promises of money and property tax that the developer guaranteed Emerson, well, none of that happened. Now Emerson is in a mega lawsuit against the developer. And even if they win that lawsuit with all the lawyer fees, what are they going to get out of it? So I just want everyone to be aware and really look at what's happening in the other towns around us. Is that what we want here? Because they're going to promise us the world, and we're not going to get any of it.
Okay, thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Lumpkin.
No problem.
Okay, is there anybody else on the line? And just to be clear on for Mr. Lemkin, there is, if anybody is concerned or wants to voice their concern, there is a zoning board meeting on the 16th.
Is there anyone else on the line?
Yes, hello?
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 Yes, hello, could you state your name and address, please?
Michael Allman, 2 Clark Avenue.
Yes, Mr. Ullman. Thank you for calling in.
You're quite welcome. I was just following up on my question from last meeting regarding the DPW building and the lack of it being acknowledged in the capital plan.
I'm sorry, you broke up, actually? A little bit, I'm sorry.
At the last meeting, I raised a concern that the DPW building was not part of the capital plan. No one had their budget with them.
Oh, hold on one second, I have my budget.
Am I to continue or what's going on?
She asked you to hold for a second.
Okay, thank you very much. I do believe, Mr. Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, or Mr. Tovo, that it was previously in the 2019 budget, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so the reason that it's not on this year's budget is because it was in the 2019 budget?
That is correct.
Okay, so,
Valid answer.
okay, could you please let me know why that's not a valid answer?
Because that's last year. It didn't occur. You have to plan for this year's capital expenditures. This is completely silent on capital expenditures for the DMF building.
Mr. Tovo, could you please clarify?
That project was funded at $1.3 million in the 2019 capital plan. The current budget, which I don't have in front of me right now, would only reflect 2020 through 2022.
So since the project is going on and you're working on the remediation, that's part of it, correct?
I'm sorry, man, you were broken up. I didn't catch all that.
Is the current work that's being done on the remediation, that's part of it. So that's where that's why it's not on this year's also.
The remediation numbers are currently being updated, and we should have something for the council at our next meeting. But like I said, it was funded in a prior year, not 2020 through 2022.
So it's on the 2019 for capital expenditure, but it's not on the 2020 budget.
Correct.
So we anticipate no expenses related to the DMF, both the remediation nor the build out of the building.
Mr. Tovo, you're explaining that the money that was funded in 2019.
I can repeat what I've said earlier. That was funded in 2019.
For years on the budget. Years and years. We've talked about ladder trucks, pumper trucks. We've talked about many other things that never come to fruition, and they appear year after year. This year, all of a sudden, one of the largest capital projects in the town, one of the most critical, given that there's a remediation project that has to take place, and the budget is 100% silent on it. So one would have to be educated on looking at a prior budget to understand that something is going to happen in the town.
No, what he's saying, it was funded in 2019. That's why he's saying it's not on this year's budget. It's been previously funded in 2019.
Who funded it? And where is it funded?
Mr. Tovo, you're going to have to answer that question, or Mr. Mayor?
Well, I will gladly print you the sheet that indicates from last year where that was funded. It's not at my disposal right now, but I can provide it tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Funded in what sense? That it was on this sheet, or that we made the capital improvement fund contribution? Because I don't believe it's been bonded.
It has not been bonded, but it has been approved by council in last year's capital ordinance. And it does not need to be bonded as of yet.
But we have in sheet 40C, where we talk about funding amounts per budget year. It's not
Right.
captured. So where are we capturing these expenses? Or
Well,
this
2019 is
So
not on this sheet.
we may have contributed to the capital improvement fund, the pay down, the down payment, but this budget is completely silent on how we're paying for the rest of the project.
Again, Mr. Ullman, Mr. Tovo said he would produce the sheets tomorrow, so we would have a more definitive answer, and I'm sorry, but your 5 minutes is up.
Well,
Is there anyone else on the line?
Is there anyone else on the line that would like to comment?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Joe Durso, 12 Viola Terrace. My question is, I sense that Mr. Ullman's a little upset because it is confusing to people that have not been involved with budget process. We'll wait for Mr. Tovo's response. Hopefully, Mr. Ullman can receive an email from him on why, but the money was not bonded. It was approved supposedly by the council of 2019. So, just curious. You're going to spend a lot of money on this DPW this year, it sounds like, and people, taxpayers would like to know what's going on. So, hopefully, somebody can respond to Mr. Ullman since his 5 minutes are up. My question is concerning the temporary spot of the DPW. I know there was a conversation. The mayor said something last week that he would announce it. Is that going to be announced this week on where you're putting the temporary spot for the DPW once this building gets knocked down or whatever you guys are doing?
I don't know.
Monday's regular meeting agenda.
Yeah, Monday's regular. Okay, so I can assume, or I'm not assuming, but I have my thoughts on where you're putting it because there's been discussion about it, and it sounds like you might be leasing a property, which. But the question is, and I'm sure you're just going to move forward what you have to do. You're going to spend money on a property, maybe unnecessarily, because you own property in this town where you can put the DPW temporarily while you fix the building over here, and that's Sherry Field. The parking lot. It's a simple fix, and I know over the years people have said it's wetlands and yada yada, but there's all kinds of concrete barriers back there. Trucks go in and out of there during leaf season. If it's going to be temporary, why do we have to spend money to lease something, which I think you may or may not do, but I'm assuming that you are? Why don't we just use, and it's a thought, it's only my thought, Sherry Field, because that's where really the DPW belongs. Out of the way, backing up to a cemetery in the background over there, away from everybody. So that's just my comments. I'm curious to see where you're actually going to move it. To me, it's great to move the DPW from where it is because I'm affected by it, but I knew that when I moved in. In reference to the other caller, Mr. Limpkin, when he called in, he moved in,
you know, and now he's getting a 3-story building in eyesight from him. You know, I can relate to that when the 200-foot cell tower went up. I didn't sign up for that, but I signed up for knowing I'd be near the police station, the DPW yard, and the Paragon building, which is Oratani, or it's changed names now. But, you know, we all moved to this town. I've been here 30 years, and people don't sign up for this. And we expect the town council to help us somewhere along the way. And, you know, hopefully, you know, questions can be answered. But I'm just curious about this DPW, really. That's my statement. You know, I hopefully don't spend money when you don't have to, when you could possibly just put it on Sherry Field as a temporary fix for your problem. Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Gerso, please also keep in mind, if you guys have some comments regarding the zoning, there is a zoning board meeting on the 16th. Is there anyone else on the line?
Is there anyone else? Hello?
Motion to close public portion of the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Stacy,
Aye.
could you just make a quick statement that this council has had no discussion of possible DPW locations, because people think we're discussing it, and we've, to my knowledge, you know, I have not discussed any DPW location with any members of the council or the administration.
Right.
So I'd just like you to put that out in the public, please.
That's correct.
So, you know, I think we all know that, and we all know that we've been informed by the mayor that we are going to have a discussion, and he hasn't been able to discuss it with us because the negotiations haven't been finished, which is, of course, the way the process goes. Is he needs to finish his side of the business and then come to us with the plan. So and again, you know, various residents have called in about the Slim Club and other places, and I keep saying the same thing. No final location has been determined. Everything is still open for discussion, and that's where we stand. So I agree with everybody on this call. I know people have a very strong opinion about it, but unfortunately, at this moment in time, we do not have a definitive answer. And I believe from the mayor's conversation, the definitive plan hasn't been put in place yet because he's still working on negotiations, which sometimes do take longer. And I think in the current climate with COVID, it's also causing additional time lags. So I agree, absolutely. But the council at this time does not have any information, and it has not been discussed with any of us.
Thank you, Stacy.
Yeah,
That's
no
right.
problem.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, Mike. Okay, and again, if we did have information, I think we would be discussing it more. We would be having more people calling in. There'd be more conversation. So anyway, okay. Salute to the flag. Public minutes. Sorry, I lost my place on the agenda. Okay, individual, so there's no adoption, second reading ordinances, there's no adoptions, there's no introduction, so we're gonna go right to the individual resolution. Authorize an emergent appropriation prior to adoption of the 2020 current budget. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, do we want to discuss?
No.
Okay, Sue, roll call. Okay, besides Councilman DeSena, does anybody want to discuss before I say? let's
Councilman
go?
Cassio, you over here?
No.
No discussion, Councilman Cassio.
Okay, Sue, roll call, please.
Councilman Cassio.
Yes.
Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Okay. And again, we will be having a regularly scheduled council meeting on Monday, June 15th. I believe it's 7:30, correct, Sue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
What would we do without a meeting a week?
Yes,
No,
hopefully. Okay, motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
With gratitude, so moved.
Okay, second.
Second.
I seconded it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everyone.
Oh, wait, and
Good
remember
night.
to send me your agenda items, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Okey-dokey.
All right,
Bye,
bye.
gentlemen.
Bye.
How do I hang up on my?